All right, very excited to have with us now on the show Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson, also of Primitiv and Primitiv Performance, Primitiv Boston, which will be opening on High Street in the very near future here. Thanks for being with us, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Talk to us a little bit about Primitiv and your goal with this project. I know this is something that this has become your life's work now, and especially given, obviously, your previous career as a football player, I think it has a lot of relevancy for players in recovery and the modern day athlete and things that they might be turning to, especially pro football players, in order to be their best selves. So talk to us a little bit about Primitiv, how you got into it, and why.
Yeah, for sure. We started our journey into the cannabis industry probably like a handful of years ago. We call ourselves Primitiv because plant medicines, and in particular cannabis, have been used by humans for millennia. So by definition and by nature, cannabis is primitive, and just really our journey here and our goal is, our mission is just to impact the global cannabis community just by highlighting the healing powers of the plant and just really educating people on the wellness that comes from the well with cannabis.
And Primitiv Boston, this is exciting. You're gonna be one of us now.
Bostonian.
Is that the right word? All the time. Why was Boston the right spot for you with this project?
With everything, everything's authentic and natural, and fortunately for us, here in Boston, our business partner, Guys with Chairless, he resides, and it's been great because, like I say, we've played together, blood, sweat, and tears, so we know each other, we're accountable to each other, and so we understand how that relationship was going to play out, so that we can definitely, at that point, spread our wings and go into a new endeavor as far as business. And it just happened to be that we are passionate about cannabis, and like I say, the healing powers of this plant. And so to be able to go into business with a former teammate to rebuild that camaraderie that we had on the field is awesome.
And Gosder's a Boston College guy, so plenty of local connections there. How many players, whether current or former, do you talk to about using cannabis so that, again, they can just feel better? Obviously, you guys put your bodies through so much in the NFL, and I'm sure there are a number of players all players that are looking for the right way to feel their best.
It's all about quality of life. And then, so we have a lot of different guys. Well, first and foremost, I'm a partner not only with Gosder Chairless, but Rob Sims is a partner of mine over in Michigan. But there's at least a handful of guys that I've been on the phone with this year and the last half of last year about them starting their own business and them having conversations with us about advice that's needed or just tools, infrastructure, whatever it is. And for us to be able to be there, to be a shoulder to lean on, it's almost like taking this thing almost full circle, probably like more like 180 right now. But being able to for them to learn from our bumps and bruises that we've already been through in this industry, that's free to them.
It's amazing how fast the game has changed, I feel like, in such a short period of time when it comes to things like recovery, right? I mean, it wasn't, 5 years ago, was anybody talking about, cannabis as openly as we are now about it being the right way for a lot of guys to be at their best.
Well, a big thing about cannabis right now you're hearing is that, it's helping people curb their whole opioid addiction, and that's great. But really, we're able to, just now be able to dive into cannabis a little bit more with the funding that's being out there and being available for research. And really, it's just educating people, that, especially on our products that we have. And you mentioned Primitiv Performance. We have cannabis, that's the Primitiv side of things. But Primitiv Performance, we're bringing online our IP, our intellectual property there in a new way to the cannabis industry in the form of nanotechnology. And I think that the reason that's different is because it's more bioavailable to the person that's using it, meaning that those small particle sizes in the nano is getting past the intestinal system and getting to the bloodstream, so that medicine is actually going to work and not getting lost in the process. That's what's exciting about what we're doing, is we're being innovative in the industry, and that's part of our goals here.
It's really interesting because the name Primitiv, you're talking about, it's a plant. It's been used for thousands of years, but it feels like this is the new wave of how to get to where you want your body to be. Thinking back, probably even to, like, you're still a young man, but your rookie year, what were the best ways to recover as an NFL player? It was get in the tub, right? Get in hot tub,
cold tub.
How much more was there?
Hydrate, get your sleep. use your creams and rubs, whatever it is, to help make your body feel better, to relieve the swelling, and that's exactly what these products are. That's what cannabis and CBD, CBG, CBN, and CBG do, and especially in combination, they are great anti-inflammatories, which is a precursor to pain.
We do want to talk some football here with you too, because as the game has changed recovery-wise, it's changed on the field too. Looking at it today, you know what? There are 14 receivers in the NFL right now, Calvin, that average $20 million or more on their contracts. It feels like that position that you used to play, which has always been highly valued, it feels like it's only increasing in terms of its value in the eyes of general managers, head coaches. We see a move like the one the Eagles made last year to add A.J. Brown to their roster. Suddenly, they're in the Super Bowl. How have you, I guess, analyzed the advancement of that position that you played and how important it's become?
I mean, that's the key right there. You're talking about analyzing the data, and that's really why I think a big part of that is that the data is being analyzed, and you're seeing how much of an impact these receivers and their position is having on these games, how moving the ball down the field is having an impact, and the guys that have, that just those extra abilities, to break tackles, those directly impact the game. So I think that's why we're seeing that market soar. And I think the whole market for the NFL is growing, but definitely those ones that have all the attention in the spotlight.
There was only one Calvin Johnson. There's not going to be another Calvin Johnson. But you look at a team like the Patriots, and there are others out there, but we're obviously focused on the Patriots here, that don't have that guy right now. They don't have that receiver that forces the defense to really change how they're going to deploy against them week to week. Do they need that guy? Do they need to go make a splash move offensively to add that receiver that truly impacts the defense and makes defensive coordinators sweat on a Saturday night?
You have to have somebody like that, or the defense can force you to play one-dimensional ball. If you don't have that guy that can create a threat, then okay, well, they'll just play zone coverage and load the box up on you. So you have to have somebody that's going to make the defense stretch a little bit.
In your mind, I know you're still following the game. Who would be the perfect fit for the Patriots? There's talk about DeAndre Hopkins being available. Bill Belichick has been very open about his love for DeAndre in the recent past. Maybe Brandon Cooks. These are guys that, you could put on the outside that have a little bit of talent that I think the Patriots are lacking right now, or do they need to swing even bigger than those names?
I'm not going to say swing bigger, but it seems like the Patriots are in a little bit of a, not say a full rebuild because they have some pieces, but I think they need to bring on, somebody that can, that's going into their prime, be able to try to find that guy like they've been able to do in the past, find those gems. I don't know that, a D-Hop or somebody that's, 10 plus years in is the guy that you want to, just ride into the future with.
T. Higgins is a name that we've been talking about for a while.
I like T. Higgins.
If the Bengals would be willing to move on, it sounds like
I want him to. I selfishly want him to stay with Cincinnati because I like what they have over there.
Oh, they've got a great mix, right? Yeah. I mean, when you have that kind of mix, you're in it every year. When you have the weapons that they have and the quarterback that they have, so it'll be interesting to see if the Patriots can make that kind of move, if they can find that gem somewhere to really change their offense. If you put yourself into the shoes of a young receiver right now, how would you feel about coming to the Patriots? Bill Belichick, legendary coach, Mac Jones at quarterback. Would you be excited to come to New England, Calvin?
Not right now, honestly. Not right now. I mean, yes, you have Mac Jones. He had a great first rookie year. There's a little struggles later last year probably, but I think that was just a full team, effort and those struggles that happened last year. Being here in New England, if I was a young receiver, young budding receiver in his prime, New England probably, honestly, just wouldn't be in the top 2-3 choices.
Why is that?
Because you probably want to win a Super Bowl, and I don't see that happening right now.
Is that quarterback related, or is it just entire organization?
I think it's too soon. I think it's too soon to lay judgment on Mac. I want to see him for another year because I'm an Alabama fan. I love him when he's Alabama. So I want to see more out of him. And, with Belichick, I think that, like I said, he can make some magic happen with some picks that don't nobody know about.
So the last number one, quote-unquote number one receiver that the Patriots had, he wasn't a prototypical number one, but was Julian Edelman called him Minitron around here. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know how you feel about that
I
nickname, Calvin. But
Julian didn't tell me that.
he didn't tell you that? No, Minitron? You never heard the Minitron thing? That was, I don't know if that was Brady or somebody else, but that used to get thrown around a little bit around here in Foxborough. Is that an honor in some ways, maybe? I think,
yeah, I'll take it as an honor.
Sincerest form of flattery, right?
100%.
Do you think you're a Hall of Famer? Do you think he has an argument to be in that conversation as one of the leading receivers all time when it comes to postseason play? His career numbers, regular season wise, aren't anywhere close to somebody like you. But what do you think about him maybe getting?
It's kind of like basketball. Nobody really playing to the off season, but that's not true in football because you got to go. But it really matters in the off season. He's been very clutch for Brady and for these New England Patriots all that time. So I think obviously when we had that quarterback conversation, you got to have Super Bowls. How many does he have? He has Super Bowls. So I think that just strengthens his argument.
Calvin Johnson, no question, no argument needed. Hall of Famer, thank you so much for being with us. Good luck with Primitiv. Good luck with Primitiv Boston. We're looking forward to you guys getting set up here. And again, you're one of us now, so we're just going to wait for that Boston accent to kick in, and then all of a sudden.
I think I got to go to a Celtics game first, maybe. I think that's it.
I think somebody could figure that out. Thanks so much for being with us, man.
Thanks.